Hello everyone, welcome to One Stop All Poetry Solution. Today we are going to discuss Henry Abbey's Planting the Tree. You will see that in this poem, the primary figure of speech that has been used is anaphora. Now you might be wondering, what is an anaphora? An anaphora is the repetition of a word or a short phrase at the beginning of several lines of the sentences. You will see that then we plant, what do we do? The W words are repeated over and over again. So this is an instance of anaphora that you will find predominant throughout the poem. This is a very simple poem where the utilities of planting a tree has been portrayed by Henry Abbey quite clearly and quite simply. So once you read and understand this poem, I'm sure you're going to appreciate the value of trees and spread the value among all your friends by liking, sharing and subscribing to this channel and liking the video too. Without much ado, let's start with the poem. Planting the Tree by Henry Abbey. What do we plant when we plant the tree? We plant the ship which will cross the sea. We plant the mast to carry the sails. We plant the plank to withstand the gales. The keel, the keelson, the beam, the knee. We plant the ship when we plant the tree. Now the poet is telling that what is the utility of planting the tree? What do we do exactly? What is the function when we plant the tree? We plant the tree so that we can build the ship which will cross the sea. We also plant the parts of the ship that support it, that are necessary so that the ship can operate. Now, what are the parts of the ship that we see? Firstly is the mast. A mast is a long upright pole made of wood which supports or carries the sails. We plant the plank to withstand the gales. Now, what is a plank? A long and narrow piece of wood. And withstand means to fight against something successfully and remain unharmed. So, being able to persevere and withstand the gales. Gales are strong winds, kind of storms you can tell. The keel, the keelson, the beam, the knee. So, the keel, keelson, beam, knee, these are also the parts of the ship. A keel is a fin-like structure which supports the ship. Keelson is a structure that joins the wooden structure of the ship to the keel. We plant the ship when we plant the tree. So it ensures that our ships are built successfully when we are planting the tree. Now, in the next lines, what is the poet telling? What do we plant when we plant the tree? So we understand that planting a tree for building the ships, can it be the only purpose? No, there must be some other reasons too. Let's see what else the poet is telling. We plant the houses for you and me. You will see that in the hilly areas, especially towards the ones means who reside in the colder regions, they have wooden houses. And most of them, the entire construction is made of wood, starting from the roofs to the floors. Though these days you will see that here in India, to where the climate is comparatively warmer, we do not build so much of wooden houses. Maybe we have wooden floors but not wooden houses. So you will see that to build those houses, where will the raw material, the primary material come from? Obviously it will come from the plants. So in order to build the houses for us, you and me refers to all of us who are residing. Don't think that it is set in India. It is Henry Abbey is writing while he is in England. So the setting is England and the climate is not that as compared to India. So you can obviously understand that most of the houses are or were wooden. So in order to build the houses for us, the trees are needed. Wooden houses, the trees are needed. We plant the rafters, the shingles, the floors. So now he describes the parts of the house that supports the house. First is the rafters, the beams which form the part of the roof of the house. Now comes the shingles. What are the shingles? The shingles are the rectangular tiles which are placed, which are in fact used on the walls or the rooftops. Okay, the floors, we plant the studding, the lath, the doors. So the studding is a group of upright pieces of wood in the walls of the building. The lath is a thin flat strip of wood that is also used for construction of the successful construction of the wooden house. The beams, the sliding, all parts that be. We plant the house when we plant the tree. So the siding, what is the siding? The siding is the material applied to the outside of the building which gives it a different look, which makes it look better. All parts that be, we plant the house when we plant the tree. So we ensure that we have a house for ourselves. That is another function of the tree. So one is that ships, for building ships, wooden ships made of bodies made of wood, the bodies of the ship made of wood, and next comes the houses which are made of wood. So already we got two big constructions, and in order to support the big constructions you need smaller parts of it. For those also you need the wood, and the wood will come from the big trees, the plants. Now let's see what the poem is telling in the final few lines of the poem. What do we plant? What do we plant when we plant a tree? 1,000 things that we daily see. We plant the spire that outtowers the crag. We plant the staff for our country's flag. We plant the shade from the hot sun free. We plant all these when we plant the tree. So now he is telling, he is just briefed up some uses of the tree, the necessity of the tree. Now what is he telling? 1,000 things that we daily see. Yes, we have built the ship with the help of the wood. We have built our houses with wood. Now what else do we do with the tree? Why do we need to plant the tree at all? We do so that 1,000 things that we see every day, most of them are made of wood. And that wood will only be supplied by the trees. Now what is he telling? We plant the spire that outtowers the crag. So a tall, slender, pointed structure, you must have seen, even if you haven't, you might Google it out and see that the spire that are there on top of tall constructions, that is made of wood. That outtowers the crag, that is taller than the steep, rugged mass of rock that projects upward or that projects outward. So that construction is outtowered, that construction is taller than the crag. To build such a huge construction, you need wood, and that will be supplied by the tree. We plant the staff for our country's flag. The flag, which is something of national pride for every citizen of a country. The staff, that is the long pole or means along which the flag is attached. Okay, the cloth, the piece of cloth that is attached, it is not only a piece of cloth, it is a lot of sacrifices, a lot of bloodshed, lot of promises are there in that, if we can call it just a simple piece of cloth, but it is not. So when we say a flag, it comprises the entire thing along with the staff. So what will support the flag, the piece of cloth that I'm talking about? That will be supported by the staff, the long construction, the tall pole-like construction. That will be supported by the wood, which will be supported, in fact, again by the trees. We plant the shade from the hot sun free. So, in order to provide a shade for the travelers, that construction, the shade, that is made of wood. The shade of the tree, the leaves, the dried up leaves that can be placed on top. In fact, even if it is not dried up, some leaves that are used for shades, especially if you see the coconut leaves are designed or means it has been in nature in such a way that you can use it as a like a thatch, like the thatched houses. They, most of them have used these coconut leaves also. I'm just stating this for an example so that you understand how the trees or the plants help in giving us shade. And in fact, even if it is not used for building shades, by means taking down the plant or the tree and then using the wood for building the shades, even plants by themselves, as with their existence, simple by their existence, by their standing, can provide us a shade. That is something that every one of us know, isn't it? We plant all these when we plant the tree. So many things are ensured when we plant the tree. So is it as if the poet Henry Abbey is telling us that, do I need to tell anything more about what is the utility, what is the necessity of planting the tree? No. We have already understood by now what is the function of the tree. What are the functions of the tree? Isn't it? So these are some points that if you remember, I am sure you're going to write some marvelous answers. Still, if you face any confusion, if you want to clarify something, feel free to ask. I'm sure I'll be able to reach out to you. And if you have enjoyed my videos and this video, please don't forget to like and share and subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed, so that you can stay in tune and remain updated with the latest content. As soon as we reach the 100 mark subscription, which obviously I am sure we will be able to reach with your support and motivation, I hope, in fact we hope, to improve the educational content of the channel. So happy learning, and do stay tuned for further updates.